Hi everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is my channel, Secret Life of a Seamstress, where I love to talk all about sewing and craft. Thank you so much for being here today and I hope you're all doing really well. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 amazing sewing patterns that you might want to sew up for this autumn-winter season. And if you're not in the autumn-winter season at the moment, then take note of some of these styles because you might want to sew them up when you are coming into the colder months. I love a good dress sewing pattern, as you probably know if you are a regular viewer of my channel. So in this video, I have chosen 10 sewing patterns that are quite new to me. I may have sewn a couple of them, but I haven't sewn all of them. I do have a couple of other sewing videos all around dresses that I will pop up here. So if you want to hear a little bit more about some of the dress patterns that I've made time and again, then you can watch those videos. But I didn't want to repeat myself, so I've chosen some new patterns for this particular video. So since I have 10 patterns to get through, let's get straight into it, and I'm going to make this quite quick fire. I'm going to include as much detail as I can, but as always I will pop the links to each pattern in the description below this video. The first pattern I've got on my list today is the Toitu Patterns Bella dress. I absolutely loved the look of this dress. I think it's so simple in style but really elegant, and it would be a lovely one for autumn and winter layering. So the Bella dress is a lovely flowy A-line style. It has quite a high boat neckline, an A-line shape, full-length sleeves, a centre back seam for shaping, and it also has pockets as well, which is always good, isn't it? I thought this one would be a really great beginner pattern because it looked nice and simple to sew. And it's that kind of style that you really can dress up or down. So I love how they've styled it in the pattern images over a pair of trousers. You could easily wear this with a pair of tights and leggings in the winter time as well, and a nice pair of boots. Go out shopping for the day and you'd be really nice and comfortable. But equally, you could dress it up for evening wear as well with heels. So this pattern calls for mid-weight woven fabrics like cottons or linens, viscoses. If you want something a little bit more fancy, it does suggest crepe back satin. The pattern also says that you can use lace. So if you are going to a lovely event or something, then you could dress this up with one of those more fancy fabrics, particularly with the Christmas parties and things that might be coming up in the near future. Pattern number 2 is the Thea Dress by Sew Over It. So again, I love this one for its simple, easy to wear style. So this one has a high boat neckline. The body of the dress is actually quite big and floaty, and the hemline kind of curves in for that lovely cocoon shape. The sleeves of this dress are actually quite narrow in contrast to the body, which I think is actually quite flattering because it does bring the shape in a little bit and you look a little bit more shapely when you're wearing it, I guess. So this is a knit dress, so it's going to be super comfortable to wear, and again I thought this was a great one for winter time because similar to the Bella dress, you could wear it with tights and a pair of leggings for a cozy daytime look, or you could dress it up with tights and heels and accessories for an evening wear look as well. Thea dress is super easy to sew, so it's perfect for beginners. It only has 3 pattern pieces, so a nice easy one. And because it does have that oversized style, you don't have to worry too much about getting the fit spot on. The fabrics suggested for this dress are light to medium weight jerseys, and the pattern says something with a little bit of bounce. So something with a little bit of drape or movement is going to work really well. So you could use a viscose or a bamboo jersey or a really light Ponte Roma if you want to make your sewing life a little bit easier. Next on my list is the True Bias Brin Cardigan. This is True Bias's newest pattern, and I have to say it's really caught my eye because these kind of dresses are around everywhere on the high street at the moment, worn with boots for winter time. I love the amount of options you get with this pattern, but since this is a dress-based video, I'm going to just focus on the dress for now. So Brin has a V-neck, a button front opening, a centre back seam for shaping, and there are various different sleeve length options as well, so you can really play around with the style. Fabrics suggested are light to medium weight stretch fabric, so obviously this is a knit dress, so you're going to want something with quite a bit of stretch in it since the dress is quite figure hugging. So fabrics suggested are rib knits, jersey knits, like cottons and bamboos, and also sweater knits as well. Skill level for this pattern is actually confident beginner, so if you do have a little bit of sewing experience under your belt, then you might feel like giving this one a go. If you're a little bit nervous about sewing with knit fabrics for a dress like this, then I would suggest to just go with a fabric with a little bit more structure to it, such as maybe a cotton jersey rather than something super slinky. To make the process easier, I guess instead of using buttons and buttonholes, you could use poppers instead, and then you wouldn't have all of those buttonholes to contend with. Before I move on to my next pattern, I just want to give a quick mention to the sponsor of today's video, which is Serious Readers. I've been working with Serious Readers on a long-term basis recently to share all about how I use my Serious Readers HD light in my own crafting life. Serious Readers are a lovely company that build bespoke lighting solutions for crafters like you and me who love to do close-up work and want to be able to continue that work into the evening when the light might be fading. Especially for us here in the UK, it's getting darker earlier and earlier, and it won't be long before we're drawing the curtains at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. For me, my Serious Readers HD light really has been a godsend. I use it every evening really when I'm doing my knitting in the evening when we're watching the telly and the rest of the family are watching TV. It's just a really great solution because it means that I can be crafting and using my light without having to put the big light on and disturbing the rest of the family. So I have a floor standing light with a lightweight base, meaning that I can actually move it from room to room. So even though it does live pretty much in our front room or in our living room, so I can knit and sew and craft and read and use it in there and it's already there, I can actually quite easily pick it up and move it into the dining room where I do all of my tracing and my sewing and my cutting out on the table behind me. All Serious Readers HD lights are fitted with something called daylight wavelength technology, which replicates the daylight spectrum as close as is technically possible, meaning that you feel as though you're working in daylight even though it might be dark outside. The lights also come with a beam width function and a dimmer switch as standard. There are loads of other different HD lights available on the website as well, so you don't have to have a floor standing light like my one. You can get a desk lamp or a Gemini light, and they come in other colours and accent finishes as well. Serious Readers HD lights are actually really highly recommended by optometrists as well. So if eye strain is something that you struggle with, then you might want to pop over and check them out. Serious Readers are actually offering £100 off of any HD light on their website using my code SALLY24. This code also entitles you to free UK delivery and also a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So after you finish watching this video, do pop over and check out the Serious Readers website, and thank you so much to Serious Readers for sponsoring this part of the video. Next on the list is the olive pinafore dress by Tilly and the Buttons, and that is actually what I'm wearing today. I really do love a good pinafore dress, and again I think these are super popular on the high street for this autumn winter season. They look really nice and they're also really great for layering as well. So the olive pinafore dress is actually part of the Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple book. This one does come with quite a few variations, so as standard it does come with a V-neck like what I'm wearing today, but you can also make it with a higher round neck as well. There are also a few different pocket options included too if you want to mix and match pockets for your dress. It has a lovely big facing inside, so it's a really good opportunity to use up all your colourful scraps and make a really nice pretty facing for inside your dress. If you are a beginner and you're a little bit intimidated by all those buttonholes, then again you could actually use snap fastenings rather than doing buttons and buttonholes, and Tilly does actually suggest doing that in the book if you aren't feeling confident enough for buttonholes. So in terms of fabric, you want something with a little bit of structure for this one. You need, I would say, a medium weight woven fabric such as a light cord. I've actually sewn my version up from a cotton gabardino fabric, which is kind of like a cotton twill, so it's got a little bit of movement to it. It's quite soft, but it's really nice to work with as well, and it presses nicely so you get a really good shape. So again, I think this dress is great for autumn winter time. I've layered it today just with a long sleeve t-shirt underneath, but you can actually layer it with a polo neck underneath, or even a more heavyweight jumper if you want to be really warm and cozy for winter time. I wear mine with tights and boots quite a lot, and in the summertime I think you can just wear this dress on its own as well with trainers, and it works really nicely too. Next on my list, I've forgotten what number I'm actually at now, so I'm just going to say next, is the Ebony knit dress by Closet Core. This is one that's been around for quite some time, but I've kind of overlooked if I'm honest, but it did strike me that this is a really great pattern just for everyday wear. I love a good dress that you can just throw on with leggings underneath and be super comfortable, but feel that little bit more put together if you are working at home or just being around the house. So the Ebony dress has a lovely scoop neck, long sleeves, and it has a really nice floaty skirt to it. So again, it's another one that you can really dress up or down depending on your preference. You can wear it with tights and boots, as I've already said, or you can dress it up in a more slinky fabric and wear it with a pair of heels for evening wear. So the pattern actually suggests for this one that depending on the kind of look you want to go for with your ebony dress, you can use various different knit fabrics. So if you do want a lovely slinky dress that you might want to swish around in the evening or indeed in the day, then you need to go for something quite fluid like a viscose or a bamboo jersey, or maybe even something silky as well. Can't think of the kind of fabric I want to say, but I know exactly what it is in my head. The pattern also suggests that if you want a more structured ebony dress, you can use something with more structure, like a ponte roma, a French terry or a sweater knit, and that would be lovely and cozy for winter time. Sewing pattern for this one again is beginner, so if you are starting out on your journey with knit fabrics, this would be a really good one to try. Again, there isn't a lot of fitting in there, so you don't need to worry about that, and also the dress just pulls over your head, so there are no buttons or fastenings or anything in this one. It's a super easy style to sew and to wear. My next pattern is the triple tuck smock by Sew Different Patterns. This I think is the perfect layering dress. It works so nicely with a long sleeve t-shirt worn underneath, or a polo neck, or even a sweater as well. But the style of it really does take you from season to season, because you can make this in a lighter fabric for spring and summertime and just wear it with nothing underneath it, just sandals. I actually made this dress for my mum last year from a really light needle cord, and it worked so nicely. This was such a lovely sew. I really enjoyed making it, and again I would say it would be perfect for a confident beginner. There's some really nice details in there, but it is quite an easy sew in that again it doesn't have any fastenings to it, you just pull it over your head. The neckline is actually finished with a lovely big facing, so that's quite nice and easy to put in. And then you've got the interest of the 3 big box pleats at the front, which are really satisfying to sew, I think, and they look really nice as well. So this one can be sewn from so many different fabrics. So for winter time you could sew it from a cord, as I've already said, either a light needle cord or a more chunky cord. That would work really well. You could sew it from a velvet or a wool fabric to keep you nice and cozy, and I think the pattern does say that you can actually use stable knits as well, so you can use like a sweater knit or a ponte if you prefer. If you want to take your dress from autumn into summertime, then you could make it from a drapey linen or something like that you could wear over something warmer underneath. Oh, I forgot to mention actually that this dress does have some concealed pockets in the side seams as well, which is always good, isn't it? My next pattern is the Lempi button-down dress by Named Clothing. I really do love Named Clothing patterns. I think they have some really lovely styles, and they're always a little bit quirky. There's always something a little bit different in them that makes them stand out, I think. So I love a good shirt dress, as you know, but I thought that rather than including one of my standard patterns that I use time and again, I'd have a look for another one that caught my eye, and this one really did. Because this one is quite chunky and quite utility style, I think it kind of lends itself to even like a coat style dress rather than just your usual shirt dress. But again, these kind of dresses are really on trend, and I've seen quite a lot of this style around on the high street. So this dress is mid-length, it's fully buttoned down, it has half sleeves, which I guess you could lengthen. It also has shoulder epaulets, a collar. I really love the nice wide button band and the big button. I think it makes it look really edgy. And there are also all manner of pockets that you can include with this dress as well, so depending on how utility style you want it to feel, you can mix and match your pockets as you wish. Oh, and it's belted at the waist too, so it just brings everything in and makes the style a little bit more fitted. But I guess if you wanted a more oversized look, you could just leave the belt off. So this one is a little bit more difficult in terms of skill level. It's an intermediate level pattern, so you would need to have some sewing experience under your belt if you were going to attempt this one. And the fabrics that you'd need to make this kind of dress are something with a little bit of structure, such as a cotton blend or a linen blend. I think you could also make this from like a chino fabric or a twill fabric, or maybe even a light denim as well, and I think that would look great. The next pattern on my list is the Nina Lee Camden Dress, and I think this pattern has been around for quite some time. So this again is another pinafore dress, but it has a few details in it that make it that little bit different, and I really liked those details, and I thought I would include it today. So the Camden dress has a lovely deep V-neck, it has princess seams at the bodice for shaping, a waistband to bring everything in, some patch pockets, and it's fully lined and it fastens with an invisible zip. The sewing level for this pattern does actually say confident beginner. There are a few difficult things in there, I think, like lining the dress and including the invisible zipper. Fabrics for this dress again are mid-weight woven fabrics, so something with a little bit of structure like a light denim, a twill or even a light cord, or cotton and linen blends I guess would work really nicely too. The next pattern on my list, and I think this is the penultimate pattern, is the Florence Dress by Sew Me Something. This dress really caught my eye. I thought it was so pretty and it had quite a lot of details in it that I thought again just made it stand out that a little bit from other midi dresses that I've seen around. So there are actually two versions of this midi dress that you can sew. Version 1 has a bound placket at the front, which I thought was really nice, a round neckline, 3/4 length darted sleeves, so the sleeves have a really nice, really interesting shape. They kind of are narrow at the top and then they come out and they're darted so that they fit in around your elbow or just below your elbow, and I thought that was really pretty. There are also cutaway pockets and then a midi skirt, which makes it really nice for winter time because you can layer it up with tights and boots again, and I think you could also sneak a long sleeve t-shirt under this one too if you wanted to. Version 2 is the more simpler version of this pattern, so this one just has the round neckline and it fastens with a keyhole opening at the back, so really nice, really easy to fit and much more easy to sew than sewing the placket in version number 1. This one also has the darted sleeves, which again I think are really pretty, and it floats out into the gathered midi skirt at the bottom. So again, there are lots of different fabrics that you could use to sew this dress depending on the kind of finished look you want to go for. So if you want a more structured, more autumnal dress that you could wear over things, and I would say go for something with a little bit more structure like a cotton, a linen, a twill, a light cord, a light wool or something like that. Or if you want a more floaty, more summery version, more lightweight version, then I think you could go for a light linen, a light cotton, or even a viscose or a crepe. So many different options with this pattern, and I thought it was really lovely and a great one to take you from season to season. So that brings me to the last pattern on my list, which is the Carly dress by Sew Over It. I had never seen this pattern from Sew Over It. I completely missed it. So it was really nice to come across this pattern in my research for this video. I thought this dress was super on trend. These collared dresses and shirts and tops are everywhere at the moment. So there is a top version of this pattern as well, but again, because we are talking about dresses in this video, for now I will just focus on the dress version. So this is a polo style knit dress. It has the collar and it has a placket as well, and with the placket you can either have buttons on it or you can leave the buttons off, which just leaves you with a nice sort of open collared v-neck style. And of course it makes the sewing process that little bit easier as well because you don't have to faff around with buttons and buttonholes, but I guess you could use poppers as well again if you prefer. So this is a lovely midi length dress and it comes with a few different sleeve options as well. You can make it with short sleeves or you can make it with 3/4 length or long sleeves. Again, I think the long sleeve version is perfect for autumn. It would look great with a bomber jacket or something over it. It would just be really easy to wear and very comfortable as well since it is sewn from knit fabrics. The short sleeve version actually has a little short sleeve and a cuff as well, so there is a little bit more detail there. The sewing level for this one is confident beginner, so again if you do have a little bit of sewing with knits experience then you might want to attempt this dress. Sew Over It patterns are always really great for their instructions, aren't they? So they do hold your hand that little bit more the whole way through. The recommended fabrics for this dress are medium weight jerseys, so something like a cotton jersey, again maybe a ponte, or you could also use a rib knit as well. And it does recommend in the pattern that if you want to add a little bit of interest you could go for a contrasting colour for the collar and the placket, and that would look really nice and really retro and that little bit different as well. So that brings me to the end of my list of 10 great dress patterns that you might want to sew up for autumn and winter time this year. Thank you so much for watching everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. You can also follow me over on Instagram for more day-to-day behind the scenes photos and videos and stories. You can also join my Patreon community for exclusive videos, tutorials and tips, and I'll leave all of those details below the video as well. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. Let me know what dress patterns you would add to this list and let me know any that you're planning to sew for this autumn and winter time. Otherwise, take care everyone, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.